Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, 36COF, and today I've got the One Piece chapter 1063 titled My Only Family. Now before I get into this chapter, I want you guys to like the video and drop a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts on chapter 1063 and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell because it does help out the channel and helps you guys stay up to date with the other content I got coming out. Now without no further ado, let's get into chapter 1063 because for one, I do want to quickly talk about the cover page, and it does say an emotional excursion. Pudding's been abducted. Now, I do believe that Pudding hasn't actually been abducted. She's used her. We know she has the memory devil fruit, so I believe she's used her devil fruit powers in order to trick her family and make her think that the Germa have kidnapped her. That's what I think personally. But you guys can comment down below and tell me your thoughts on it. Now, continuing on with this chapter, it continues on that we see Luffy, we see Bonnie and Chopper and their stuff. They look like little fat pigs, to be honest. And as we know, last chapter they were gorging themselves on that food machine that the violent satellite had treated them to. And she even mentions, "Oh, you guys look like you're stuffed to burst." And Jinbei does say like, "Nah, I'm always this chunky, bro." Just a little funny scene that a little back and forth that I thought was funny. But the violent satellite does go and says, "Well, I need to get back to my job," and disappears. And during this time, Luffy manages to notices this machine that he steps into, and it gives him these winter clothes. And he gets the others. He gets Bonnie, Chopper, and Jinbei all to try it out. And Bonnie does notice that it does have different options. You can choose battle gear, which she chose. She chose to wear combat gear, and so did Chopper, because they do look pretty cool in their new outfits. And again, more merch for us fans to buy. And not Luffy, but Jinbei, he chose this big like tropical Hawaiian shirt, which makes him look like the typical dad on holiday. So after they've got these outfits, they're just like walking around, and Jinbei notices that, oh, there's more people out now. They must not be as weary about us anymore. And Bonnie says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get some weapons, and I'm gonna give a Vegapunk a piece of my mind." And Luffy notices he notices Kuma, or he notices one of the pacifistas, and this pacifista is slightly different to all the models we've seen so far, because this one does look like a traditional like American policeman. He looks like a RoboCop. He's got the word police emblazoned across his chest. He's got the typical police hat with the star on it, all that. And Luffy does say, "I wonder if he's looking for us, or is it just my imagination?" And he says, "Let's move." He's gonna run. And again, I love this little scene now because we can see Luffy using his future sight, and he doesn't explicitly say, "I'm using my future sight and I know he's gonna do this." He's just staring at him, and it's inferred that he's using his hockey. And as this pacifista start bolting towards him, it opens its mouth and lets out a laser cannon, and it says, "Eating without payment, theft of clothing." And so apparently this police pacifista is trying to arrest them because it claims that they stole the clothes and the food without paying. So, but there was no indication that there was a payment option on the machine. And this pacifista is pretty powerful. I mean, it lets off the giant laser, and it blasts away Jinbei, Luffy, and Chopper. I mean, they're not hurt. They're not like gravely injured or anything. But it causes a giant explosion, enough for the Force to at least send them flying. And Luffy and Jinbei are like, "Yo, this is a bit excessive, you know." And it's like, "Yo," and Luffy's like, "Yo, we need to fight back before this thing gets the best of us." And Jinbei's in agreement. He's like, "Yo, Luffy, I agree with you. This is self-defense. We're justified in this." And Luffy jumps up and he's about to deliver a Grizzly Magnum. My mistake. He's not about to deliver a Grizzly Magnum. It's an elephant gun. That's the move he's going to deliver on this pacifista. And just before, as the pacifista has its arm raised towards Luffy, about to blast him back, Bonnie gets in the way and kicks Luffy out the way, shouting, screaming, "Stop!" But fortunately, the pacifista's laser attack misses them. So Luffy's kicked to one side, Bonnie's on the opposite side, and the laser just goes straight past them. So no one's hurt from that. And this is where this is where Luffy, Jinbei, and Chopper find out that Kuma is actually Bonnie's father, because she mentions earlier that in the earlier chapters, I believe it was 1061, that Vegapunk had turned her father into a cyborg. Now she never specified it was Kuma, so now this is their reaction, because Luffy's obviously like, "What the hell, Bonnie? Why'd you stop me? This guy let off a laser. I'm allowed to get a shot back in." But this is where Bonnie says, like, "No, you can't. Please, he's my dad." And she's like, "Yo, please don't hurt my dad." And she's crying, tears in her eyes, and we see a little flashback to where Kuma is still human, and he's got Bonnie. He's holding her when she's a young girl. Now, while she's saying, "Please don't hurt my dad," the police pacifista is still attacking her. It's still attacking the lot of them. It's letting off lasers and causing huge explosions. So these pacifistas are like. These pacifistas are significantly stronger than the ones we've seen I think barring the Seraphim, because I do believe that these pacifistas are pretty strong. I don't know if they're as strong as the Seraphim, but considering that these pacifistas are on Vegapunk's island, where his laboratory is, I think that these pacifistas are going to have the most advanced technology. Now we cut away because we don't see what else happens after the pacifista lets off the last shot, but we can safely assume that Luffy, Jinbei, Chopper, and Bonnie are safe, because the next part it doesn't say where, it's just as a stretch of the new world, and we see Blackbeard's ship, we see the saber of Zebek, and all we hear is his laugh. All we hear is "Zahaha." I don't think I'm going to do that again. But what we do see the polar tank, Law submarine, and it's is underwater, and it seems to be punctured. There seems to be water leaking in from certain points, and the people on the ship are like, one more hit, and the water pressure will crush us. We need to get to the surface." Law's like, "Land close by to the northeast," and they're like, "Prepare for battle, hurry." And you rule 34 guys are going to be loving this right now, because Law's a woman. Law has been turned into a woman. We see that Law has been Rule 34. He's got the special crown treatment. Because we see Law and he's a woman, and he's been turned into a woman, but he's obviously still in the middle of battles. Like, "Prepare for battle, hurry." And Sachi and Penguin are like, You look fantastic, You look fantastic, Captain." And Law's like, "Don't make me beat you over the head." But it's not just Law, it's Beppo. Beppo's been turned into a woman. Now, I initially thought this had something to do with Ivankov's fruit, but we do find out later on that it is because of Doc Q's devil fruit, and we find out that he has the disease fruit. I'm going to talk about that in a sec, but I just want to whatever's happening to Law and the crew, they're being turned into females, because Law's a female now, Beppo's a female, and it's affecting Sachi, Penguin, and other members of the crew, and they say don't touch anyone who's already got it, because that's how it spreads. It can spread through touch. And Law's like, "I remember I learned something through the Emperor fight. You can break through devil fruit powers if your haki is intense enough." And just as the polar tank has reached the surface, Law uses his Conqueror's haki in order to overpower Doc Q's fruit, which I say is the disease fruit. And as the polar tank emerges, we do see that we do see that Doc Q is on his horse Stronger, and he says he says, oh, he's broken through the disease while he's worth 3 billion berries for a reason, and he says once he's broken through the antibodies, once he's broken through, his antibodies will spread just as the illness did. Did you have fun with the feminization disease? That's what this disease is called, the feminization disease, or I'm just going to call it the Rule 34 disease, because that, to me, that makes it's a funnier name to me. And on the saber of Zebek, we do see Burgess, we see Van Auger as well, and we see Van Auger, and it tells us the name of his devil fruit, and he has the warp fruit. Now, it doesn't say anything else about we don't see what else his devil fruit can do, but based on the name, he's able to warp objects. Who is it? Probably able to warp objects and potentially people. And even, again, if it's, I'll go on with how Blackbeard's crazy devil fruits are so overpowered. He probably can warp maybe space, or at least the air around it potentially. Or another idea I've just thought about for the warp fruit is maybe instead of warping as in, it may be warping as in creating portals. So maybe that is a part of his devil fruit's ability. And he's just mentioned it now because I think it's safe to say that he never had it earlier on. Pre-time skip, he never had this devil fruit. He just had good, like insane observation, hockey, and marksmanship skills. And Jesus Burgess, he just picks up this huge piece of a mountain and just hurls it at Law and Heart Pirates, because the Law and Heart Pirates, they're safe now. Law's just room shambles and just hit him and all his crew, and he's plopped them on the island. And just as they land on this island, like I said, Jesus Burgess just picks up this huge mountain and just hurls it at them. And we find out that he has the strong fruit. Now again, it doesn't specify what his fruit's abilities are, but again, the strong fruit, we can safely say that this increases his strength to insane abilities, to insane degrees, and it does. And like I said, about Jesus Burgess, that I was actually wrong again whilst rereading the chapter. It is teleportation, because Law says super strength, teleportation, all of these preposterous powers they've gained. He's like, no wonder their bounties keep rising. So again, so Van Auger does have some sort of teleportation ability, which again is insane, which is an insane ability for a sniper to have, any type of fighter, to be honest. And just as this mountain is coming towards the Heart Pirates, again, Law uses room, shambles, and he switches places. And where Law teleports, he teleports on the saber of Zebek, and we see that because this is guys, this is the end of the chapter. Like, this is the final page of the chapter, and Law, he's on Blackbeard's ship. He's on the deck of Blackbeard's ship. He's on the saber of Zebek, and he's ready to fight. He's got Kikoku drawn. He's got the zombie ready, and he's ready for the beef. He's ready for the beef. Because Law says, why are you here? Why are you trying to step to me and my crew right now? And Blackbeard's like, don't be like that. We're part of the worst generation. You shouldn't treat me like that. We're the same. But Blackbeard also mentions, like, I knew that one of you guys were going to come here. I knew it was either going to be you or Kid or Straw Hat. One of you were going to come here from 1-0. I knew that for sure. But I do want to say that Blackbeard is fucking sitting on top of Doc Q and Stronger. So he's just squashing Doc Q and weighing down Stronger as well. And we do see that Stronger does have the Pegasus fruit, the mythical horse fruit, model Pegasus. So again, another overpowered devil fruit for Blackbeard's crew. Now, but you guys tell me, what are your thoughts? What do you think? strong as ability, the Pegasus fruit's special ability is going to be. Well, obviously it can fly, but there's going to be an additional ability. There's going to be an additional ability to that because Pegasus can fly. I say naturally, but they're mythical creatures. But according to their lore, they're able to fly. So that won't be that ability will already be built in to the Pegasus fruit. But Blackbeard does say, go figure, Kaido and Big Mom fell. You guys have turned the whole world upside down and it's been crazy. Because this is where Blackbeard throws down the gauntlet and he already threw down the gauntlet when he attacked Law. But he says, of course Kaido would have had at least one. And how many have you found? I'll take all of your road poneglyphs. Law says, same back to you. In this fight, the winner takes all. And that's the end of the chapter, because you know in the next chapter it's going to be Law versus Blackbeard. Oi, this is going to be a crazy fight, because we're going to see Blackbeard using abilities that we haven't seen before, and maybe some abilities we already have, but they're going to be more refined. Has he got a third Devil Fruit ability? We don't know, because because we don't see him use any of his abilities yet. So that's what we're going to find out in chapter 1064. But that was chapter 1063. Why don't you guys comment down below and tell me your thoughts on it? How do you think Blackbeard and the crew acquired all these super strong devil fruits? Who were the previous users of the strong fruit? Or the warp fruit, for instance. And the Pegasus fruit, again, maybe were these potential former Marines or were these other pirates that were out in the New World somewhere? And tell me your guys' thoughts on Blackbeard versus Law. Who do you think's